All right, the mission continues to spread educational, let's say, notes to parents jumping in the youth sports. Okay. Um, who I have today, Miss Nicole Lynch, whose daughter has been a teammate of my daughter. Let's just say, well, was a teammate for my daughter for a number of different seasons in lacrosse space. She's a year younger, so now she has her own team, and she's a 2030. My daughter's a freshman at 2029. But Miss Lynch has been involved in youth athletics in Bradenton, Manatee County for a long time. So, welcome to this conversation, Miss Lynch. How you doing this morning?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I had to come call on you when I thought about this idea. I said she's got two youngins that are in the sport. She's got a wealth of knowledge just being a sports mom. So this will be a great conversation. How cold is it down your way? We're not far from each other, but how cold is it? You're on the water. Sheesh. I'm channeling my inner Buffalo. My brother's gonna hate me wearing my Buffalo stuff because he's from Buffalo. He hates when I wear Buffalo Bill stuff, but right now it feels like Buffalo in Florida, so I'm in my Buffalo Bill stuff. All right, so let's jump into it. Your just take me along. Let's take me along your children. I guess we can start with the oldest. Let's start with your oldest daughter. When did she jump into playing team sports?
She would have been in about, I think, first grade was her. Well,
Okay.
no, probably actually a little before that. We started in gymnastics, moved to rec cheer, and then in the season after that, we started lacrosse, rec lacrosse. So she would have been about gymnastics. We started in at 3, I believe, and it just did that for a couple of years before she was until she was old enough to start rec ball for cheer.
Okay.
And then
What
it
what
was
made you guys? Oh, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
that's okay. It was the organization that she did cheer with that had a rec lacrosse program,
Hmm.
and that is the same program that we started rec lacrosse with.
When you first jumped her into team sports, or let's just say cheerleading, all right, let's say cheerleading because that would be more team oriented than being a gymnast. All right, so let's just go cheerleading. What made you guys as a family, or what made your oldest say, I want to get into cheerleading, or why did you guys put her in cheerleading?
I cheered in high school, and my nieces cheered, my sister cheered, so it was something that everyone was used to, and it was 5 minutes from the house. So I thought it would be fun to start, and she she didn't love it.
Okay.
So we had to find something that she did love.
And that became when you started, I guess, dabbling in other team sports. Lacrosse was already part of that organization. So is that the main reason why you jumped into lacrosse to start?
Lacrosse was new to us, yes, and because
Okay.
it was with the same organization, it made it an easy transition, and
Okay.
it was something that was better fit for her. She needs to
Okay.
stay moving and stay busy, so that was definitely lacrosse was definitely the answer for her.
All right. She got good at it. All right. So during her rec days, like she was one of the top players, if not the top player on her team. Like as a mom sitting on the sideline and your athlete's doing really well, like what kind of rush is that on those given game days when your athlete, she's still young, but she's having a lot of success? What's that rush like sitting on that sideline?
But it gets exciting. I mean,
Yeah.
there's definitely it's a different level of intensity than what we've learned club is. Um,
Hmm.
you learn the do's and don'ts in rec, and you learn a lot of the game in rec lacrosse. It served its purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're in rec. When did you guys jump into travel lacrosse? At what age or grade did you guys jump into travel lacrosse, and why did you jump into travel?
We jumped into travel. She was in fifth grade, and she played on a middle school team.
Hmm.
And it was because I wanted her to have that next level training. Um,
Mhm.
we wanted her to play. She was already playing at a little bit of a higher level than the other girls on
Mhm.
her rec team, so we wanted her to train at a higher level to just keep growing.
Okay. What was the conversation like between you and your husband on making this move to travel? You know, how because obviously you guys are gonna talk and say, "Hey, are we gonna really dive into this sport? Are we gonna invest into the sport? And are we gonna do it right now? Because we can see that our daughter probably has a chance to be good in this." How did that conversation go before you made the move into travel?
He thought I was crazy. He thought she was too
Why?
young. He thought she was too young for us to start this, like, crazy journey into travel sports. And,
Uh-huh.
in the beginning, it was the first club we were with, they didn't travel far. So we only did, like, 1 tournament in Florida, and it was a good starting point. And, once we switched to another club, we started traveling out of state, more tournaments in state, and that was the real travel experience. And now we're at a point where we're traveling even further. We're traveling
Mhm.
more frequently, and so yeah, I think we're in the thick of it now.
Oh yeah, because we're in this we're in the same boat. And like
Hmm.
Coach Maddie said when she was on, once you go travel, you really almost don't go back because
No,
there's so many different benefits. Obviously, the travel component, being able to play outside competition is fantastic. The camaraderie of the girls being together is fantastic. Even the camaraderie and fellowship of the parents is something that parents look forward to, right? Me
absolutely.
and my family, and you and I have to have this conversation. We build our vacations around our kids' travel schedule. So we really kind of block off, for at least in our house, we
Mhm.
block off May to July. Whereas if we're gonna do anything as a family, it's gonna have to coincide with what we're doing with our travel sports, right? Because
Absolutely.
we're traveling, we're on the move. The kids got practices, they've got out of state tournaments. We could be in Georgia 1 month, and then the following weekend we can be in New Jersey, and then back to back we could be in Pennsylvania. It's just that travel schedule.
I feel like there's not really it's a full-time job. There's not time for outside family vacations and, anything, in during season.
Hmm.
So, yeah, he thought I was crazy, but we're love it now.
All right, so let's get into the thick of this because this is really what we want to go with the conversation. Your daughter leaves her first club. She goes to her second club. Her second club team is probably more advanced than she was used to with the first club team, and the talent level was probably a little better than it was with her rec team and her club team. Okay,
Absolutely.
let's start with these conversations with mom, dad, and child number one. How did they go where, okay, hey, baby girl, we want you on this competitive team, but you see where you need to get to. Now, how are we going to get there? So take me back, if you go with a little throwback conversation. What were those conversations like to see what her motivation was and what kind of plan you guys were starting to think about to get her at a level where she could be competitive, not only with her teammates, but with the competition in front of her?
We had some rough days. There were
Mm,
times where we would travel out of state and she'd get no playtime. There were
mm-hmm,
times where we would and that was brutal. That was hard for all of us. So
mm-hmm,
that led to the difficult conversations we had to have with her that if she wanted to take this sport seriously, that if she wanted to play at a higher level and get more play time, then she had to put the work in. And then if she
mm-hmm,
was willing to put the work in, we were willing to make it happen for her and make sure it would happen for her.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it started with just a kind of an eye opener going to these other tournaments where the girls that were more skilled and more experienced were getting most, if not all, of the playtime. And
Mm-hmm.
we would, come home and it would be hard for her, but she put the work in, and I feel like it's paid off for her.
Mm. All right. The work. What kind of work? So let's fast forward. Okay. So now you've had the conversation. Everybody's kind of dialed in on the plan that needs to take place. What happened next?
She started working on her skills, her stick skills at home more often. She started training in a gym. She started taking outside training, offensive training. There's a number, I mean, she just went full speed ahead with everything that she needed to do.
Okay. Now here goes a parent conversation it's the obvious. Was it all worth it? Has it been worth it? Okay. Because you're gonna get those parents who are gonna say, oh shoot, like Nicole, your daughter's rocking and rolling, right? And you're gonna be like, yeah, she put the work in. And the follow-up question is gonna be like, okay, well, is it working? How long did it take for her to get there? What would you say to that parent?
I would say we really started noticing a difference after the first probably 3, 4 months. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when it was very obvious because we had to wait, it's a process. And
Mm-hmm.
so after I'd say we started noticing little differences on the field with her confidence level. Once with all those trainings combined, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd say definitely noticing. I mean, we're probably close to 2 years into this additional trainings now,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's by far been the best decision that she's made for herself.
And when you guys have those additional trainings, because I think that we as our lacrosse culture is getting better. We are our girls might not have the level of awareness to what your daughter is doing, that is the norm up north. The girls who are getting recruited and have these crazy stick skills and are fabulous athletes. The lacrosse training equivalent up north, the outside training is equivalent to our football, basketball, baseball training here in Florida. All right, so you went to Robinson High School, and people don't know how good Robinson High School was in those three sports alone back in our day. And football, basketball, baseball here in Florida is king, right? But up north, lacrosse is one of those top three sports, and that type of training is equivalent to what we put in now. And for somebody who does not know what your daughter has been doing and the work that she puts in, if she were to go tell that to a girl up north, they'd be like, yeah, that no duh, like that's what you're supposed to be doing. And those parents are supposed to be investing in those outside trainings. So what I'm trying to get at is when you're having these conversations with parents who are interested in outside training, what are questions that are usually asked to you and how do you answer those?
They absolutely ask what she's doing, how often.
I'm okay. It says recording pause and you're in. All right. Is it still running now? Is it okay now? Yeah, I heard it, but I think we're okay. We should be okay when I can post edit and make it sound good. All right, we'll just continue. Yeah, so go ahead.
They wanna know where she
Mm-hmm.
trains, how often, and what. And I feel like I do explain to the parents when I speak to them because they always go, "Oh my gosh, that's so much. Like, how does she keep it all to?" And I explained to them, like, this is nothing compared to what the girls up north, I feel like they're cradling a stick before they can walk. And they're so far ahead in stick skills and speed and endurance, like everything. And so we've got a little catch up to do with those
Mm-hmm.
girls. We've recently been playing girls from up north, from the better teams,
Mm-hmm.
and we have found like they do play much more aggressively. They do play, so we there's a little learning experience once you start playing those girls that are at that next level already. It shows my daughter where she needs to be and what to expect if she wants to play at a college with these girls one day.
We're playing catch up, and that's a good point. So when my daughter started getting to the point into the sport, and I think you and I had this conversation before. We've had plenty of conversations. I always wanted to make sure that my daughter had supreme stick skills because I knew that her athleticism would get neutralized at some point. She would go against girls that were taller than her. She would go against girls that were going to beat her up. She would go against girls that are even faster than her and as athletic as her. And the only way to combat that is to be supremely skilled with your stick and have high lacrosse IQ. So that was our training regimen, was like, okay, you're a good athlete, but that ain't good enough. Just being a good athlete is not good enough. Okay. You have to be where they are. They up there are the benchmark to where we need to be at as far as a lacrosse player. Um, I remember watching Cameron in a tournament recently, and she just looked extremely confident in what she was doing. Like she had like we like to say, she had some shit to her. Like her confidence level was extremely high, right? And for the girls that I train, a big part when they come in, they're not confident. Even my college athletes, they're not confident. And I remember early in our conversations, you're like, yo, the training is fantastic. She's getting better on the field, her athleticism, da 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 da, as it should work out that way. But her mental game changed. Her confidence level kind of took off. Speak to me about when you saw that confidence take off and what it looked like on the field to you.
It's it's funny you ask because we felt when she would play on her rec team, she played with that confidence. But then
Mm-hmm.
transitioning into a higher skilled team with skilled athletes, her confidence kind of took a back seat for a while until she leveled up her sixth game
Mm-hmm.
IQ. And then I feel like now she's at a point where she does play at a higher confidence level at that club level now. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it just took um like like I said, that the outside training to help build her confidence. So it's confidence in her footwork, confidence in her stick skills. And I think that those two things played a huge role in, that we worked on defense, we worked on offense, and it I all of together helped create the confidence.
That's fantastic. Let's finish this off, right? So as our 20 minutes are coming up, I like to keep this around 20 minutes, keep it short. If when again, we're just trying to educate parents, when would you tell your body who would ask questions about outside training, because that's the focus of this conversation, when would you tell them to get started? What's that kind of sweet spot of an age or uh and you sense it as a parent to that this kid might take this seriously? When do you think it's time to start investing in that outside training? At what age?
I'd say fifth or sixth grade.
Okay.
I from when we started lacrosse, it has become increasingly more competitive. And,
Mm-hmm.
when I started club, my friends said I was crazy.
Okay.
Everybody, like my husband thought I was crazy. My friends were like, it's too soon, it's too soon. And but I went with my gut because I saw the skill level of some of the girls that we were playing against. And that is why I was like, "No, we need to start now because they're already better. So
Right.
she needs to catch up."
Right.
And when we saw that she did have something, that's when we started. We're like, "Okay, she's actually good at this. Let's see if this next level is more her speed." And
Right.
it was. And honestly, what her the better it gets.
Yeah.
So I can't I would say 5th or 6th grade, depending on the child and when they actually start lacrosse. But if they've been playing rec for a couple of years and you see that they are loving the sport and they are wanting more and asking for more, you definitely have to take the from the kid because
Yeah.
they, if they're not into it and you're forcing it, it's going to be a very short-lived a sport for this athlete. And we have a younger daughter as well. She wasn't ready. Now that she's hit that sweet spot of fifth or sixth grade, she's ready to take on more too. So
Mhm.
we are fifth grade is where I'd say is where parents probably start needing to invest to get them ready in middle school, and then by high school they are at a
A question just popped in my head, and this comes from a previous interview that I did a couple weeks ago, and it kind of morphed into a training conversation. Also, wasn't necessarily dialed into that, but the conversation kind of led into not all trainers are built the same. Okay, what do you look for, or what were you looking for before you got into outside training? Did you have an idea what you wanted for your daughter? Did you see something and change routes into what training that you had? How did you identify what you wanted for a trainer for your athlete?
we wanted that coaches like I similar to how we parent,
Mhm,
gentle parents. However, we've always been what I would consider somewhat tough on our kids. And I wanted a coach that matched that same energy, that pushes them.
mhm.
Um, and I feel like every coach, every coach, but the coaching that she's getting outside of practice and the coaching that she's currently receiving in practice are perfect for her.
Mhm.
And they have been, it's been a both scenarios have been a
There was one other mention that this person said that you want to make sure the child wants to go to this training. It's probably a bad sign if you're like, "Hey, we got training," and you're like, yeah, I don't really feel like messing with that today," or "I don't feel like messing with that ever again." You know what I mean? Like, it obviously that's important that they have that type of relationship, but is that important for you guys also that you see, yeah, your kid's excited to go learn something new or keep building on her skill set with this specific trainer or
ab-
coach?
absolutely. I think when you have, and I know kids who would
Mhm. Mm. Mhm. For the good or the bad. That is my message all the time is, I think confidence in young women is athletes in general, but I am especially dialed into young women because boys kind of bounce back a, a bit quicker. If they get punched in the face, they can kind of turn the other cheek and they bounce back a bit quicker. My experience as I started coaching girls is not necessarily the same, right? If they get drug in a hole, it takes a longer time for them to get back on that horse and not be afraid of what happened before.
absolutely.
If you're in a situation, especially while the kids are young, and you're with a coach, an instructor, a teacher, I don't care, somebody who is of influence to them with their development, and they're tearing down that confidence. That's a confidence with that adult first, and then if it doesn't stop, you got to remove them from the situation because the last thing you need is for your kid's confidence to get torn down at a young age. And now you're trying to build that. Everything that you built until now gets torn down by one person. That's a big no no. You got to get out that
Absolutely.
situation and find something else.
Absolutely. And we have. We've been in that
Yes.
situation where it was a very toxic environment and we've removed ourselves from the environment and we've been never been happier, never the coaching has been incredible and I mean it's been nothing but positive since then.
You've got the floor. You got 30 seconds. What's your last words to any parent out there? Go.
I guess I would just say that, listen to your athlete, make sure that just check in with them, make sure that they love what they're doing, and ask them if they're ready for more. If they're ready for more, you know, be you have the parent, it's a commitment. The parents are going to have to make just the biggest commitment as the athlete. We travel an hour and a half to 2 hours to practice and training, and it's paid off. It's worth it. It's a commitment for on our end. It's a sacrifice for the whole family, but we make it happen for both athletes because that's what it takes.
Fantastic job. Fantastic job, Miss Lynch. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely, Preston. Thanks for
Stay
having
down
me.
and stay warm down in Manatee.
I will. Thank you.